the theory. One, focus your energy. You think you can do everything, you can't, and everybody overestimates all the things they can do. The things I regret in my life are all the good ideas I pursued to the detriment of my great idea.
Welcome back to Money News Channel, your go-to spot for all things finance, wealth building, and success strategies. Today, we're super excited to bring you a special video with none other than Michael Saylor. If you're not familiar, Michael is a powerhouse in the tech world, a visionary entrepreneur, and a leading voice in the Bitcoin community. His insights into technology and economy are second to none. In this must-watch episode, Michael dives into essential life strategies. He's talking about focusing your energy on what truly matters, mastering the art of time management in our distraction-filled world, and the significance of nurturing both your mind and body for lasting success. But wait, there's more. Michael will give us the lowdown on thinking independently in an age of information overload, the power of choosing the right friends, and the immense impact of your environment on your well-being. Plus, he's got some invaluable advice on maintaining integrity through keeping promises, the magic of staying positive and constructive, and how to make a real difference in the world. Trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end of this video. The insights Michael shares are game changers. And if you're all about leveling up your financial and personal life, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Money News Channel for more content like this. Let's dive in.
Focus. And that's, you go to my Twitter profile, I got laser eyes. The message of laser eyes is focus. I'm not against 1,000 things. I am not in favor of 100 things. I am simply trying to advocate for one thing. And the one thing is Bitcoin. So focus your energy. Second, guard your time. Everybody's going to actually want to take your time. There's going to be a million things you can do with your time. And you know, when I was growing up, we had like 3 channels and we had like every night programming that was original from 8 to 11. And, you know, there was no porn. Like there was one Playboy magazine I saw in the woods once, and it was, you know, it was legendary. All the teenage boys would talk about the one Playboy magazine, you know? And so today you've got Twitch and you've got YouTube and you've got infinite porn, and you've got infinite games, and you've got infinite everything. And if you look at the scourge of modernity, it's every possible thing people ever thought they might want. We figured out how to manufacture it in bulk, pharmaceutical grade, and drive the variable cost to 0. So infinite music, used to be music cost money. Infinite books, used to be books. You know, I went to the library, I checked out books. I had to take them back. There was a limit on the books. So no limits today. And you really have to ask yourself the question, how are you going to spend your time? Because you could literally spend the next 30 years of your life watching chess videos on YouTube. Not playing chess, just watching the videos of other people playing chess, right? There's infinite, hundreds of thousands of hours of chess videos to be watched. So the third piece of advice is train your mind. Train it, right? You know, train it, what? Math, learn to speak, learn a language, learn logic, especially logic and language and basic thinking skills. How you do that, right? Doesn't necessarily mean you need to go to university, right? I launched the Saylor Academy, and we've given education to 1.5 million students. We don't charge them a nickel. It's absolutely free. In my opinion, you can probably train your mind better, faster, not in a school today, right? But because the options I had when I was going through school, like when I was in high school, I could learn Spanish or French or Latin, but that's all I could learn. And I could learn 2 years of it, and I could learn at the same rate as everybody else. And I could learn 1 semester of calculus and half a semester of calculus. That's all I can learn. So train your mind, use technology to do it. The fourth, train your body, be healthy. You don't have to do things that are inflammatory and dangerous. I mean, I'm not telling you to go be a boxer or take excessive risk, but I think any kind of healthy training, the pattern you get into your entire life is important. It won't be that important in the first, like right now in your 20s or your 30s, you can get away with really, really bad behavior. There will be a greater price to pay in your 40s. It will get exponentially worse in your 50s if you engage in really bad behavior and you don't train your body. By the time you get to your 60s, sometimes the journey's over. And when you get to your 70s, you'd like to be able to walk around, and being able to walk around or into your 80s or the like is a function of the way you treat your health. So, if your body goes, your mind will go later, and life is just not that fun. Fifth, think for yourself. Everybody's going to tell you what to think. Everybody, every media organization is in the business of telling you what to think. And generally, they all have an agenda. When at some point in your life, you'll read a story and you'll ask the question, what was the agenda of the journalist that wrote the story? And what was the agenda of the media organization that published the journalist? And what was the agenda in the nation where the journalist lives? And if you start to think about all those things, then you'll realize that oftentimes in life, especially if you run a business, like I want to do something. Maybe I want to buy a product. I never bought the product before. And Peter sells a version of the product, and Danny sells a version of the product, and you sell a version of the product, and all three of you are experts. I know nothing. What I do is I try to buy from each of you, and then I triangulate between each of you. And you can tell me lies. You can tell me lies. You can tell me lies. I wouldn't know the difference. But at some point, you will rat out him. He will rat out you. You will rat out him. I will create a mosaic of it, and I will figure out what the truth is by inferring it from a bunch of distorted information. So assume everything's distorted, and it's your job to synthesize and get to your version of the truth. 6, curate your friends. Be careful the company you keep, right? Some people will make you better and they'll lift you up, and other people will drag you down. And plenty of people's lives are ruined by a bad friendship in their teens, right? Your friend wants, I'm not going to go into details. You figure it out. Choose your friends carefully, choose their values. And you have infinite choice. There's 8 billion people on the planet, right? You can find 3 friends that will work well with you. And so figure out the right ones and run from the wrong ones, cherish the right ones. 7th, curate your environment. Like, look where we are right now, right? There's good light in this room. Didn't have to be good light in this room. Peter could have picked one that has awful light, right? Pick the environment that's happy, that's healthy. Curating the environment means choose where you will live, what city, what neighborhood, how you will live. Do you want to live in a house with green grass? Do you want to live in an apartment? Think hard about that. You have more choice than you think you have. It will impact your mental health. It'll impact your physical health. For example, you study statistics, you find that the likelihood of you getting mugged or murdered is highly correlated to your pedestrian pattern. So if you actually walk down 10 blocks in a bad neighborhood and you walk back and forth every day to work in the wrong place, you're like 1,000 times more likely to get killed, mugged, murdered, whatever, right? So you made that choice. You might not realize you made that choice, but where you are and how you live makes a difference to your mental and your physical health. 8, keep your promises, whatever they are. The one thing people remember about you for the rest of your life, if you promise them something 27 years later, they will still remember if you lied to them, or if you promised them something and you didn't do it. And the problem with that is that credibility over time compounds. And if you don't have credibility, people aren't going to want to help you. They're not going to help you. In fact, they're going to actually celebrate your failure. So don't make promises you can't keep, but bend heaven and earth to keep the promises you do make. And that, obviously in business, it's the difference between businesses succeeding and failing. And like when you get in the public markets, my stock trades every day from 9:30 to 4. if people felt like I was going to do something different than what I told them, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars of capital would disappear in a heartbeat when you lose credibility. So your ability to accomplish something in life is based on your credibility. So don't make promises you can't keep, and keep your promises. 9, stay cheerful, be constructive, right? The world's full of 10,000 things that are ugly and awful, but and you can talk about them ad infinitum. But if you sit with someone, for 3 hours and you talk about how awful the world is, or how much you don't like it, at some point, and then pretty soon they're like beat down, exhausted, and then you end with that parade of horribles. You're like, so we can do this, but you've already beat them to death, right? And so they need to enjoy and look forward to their engagement with you. If you want to accomplish something, find a way to do it in a cheerful, constructive way. Cheerful, things that go viral on Twitter more often, they're like constructive, cheerful things. If you're entertaining, or you find, if I post a criticism, then some people see it, but it doesn't go that far. When I post a solution, like here's a free thing, here's a free course, here's a free resource. You can have this for free. This is a tool you can use. If like, for example, the other day I saw a really nice video on what is Bitcoin, and it had been posted by a Bitcoin advocate, and it had like 800 views because she didn't have that many followers. I thought, but this is kind of sad. This is sitting and languishing. It was like 3.5 minutes of why Bitcoin is good. So I retweeted it. And, I said, no, there will only be 21 million Bitcoin, or there'll never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, or something like that. Went to like 250,000 views. But what happened was, all the other people on Twitter said, hey, this is a really good orange pilling video. And they started retweeting it. And you can see on Twitter now how people bookmark things. You can count the bookmarks. And it had the number one set of like thousands of bookmarks. Like people were bookmarking it. Like you could see in their mind, they're like, I should save this because I might need to send this to my father, my mother, or my friend. And it's like, I post something kind of snarky or critical or pessimistic. No one's bookmarking that. And so cheerful and constructive works better. And also, you want people to look forward to seeing you, whether it's in a working environment, like I enjoy working with you, or if they're a customer, or if they're a supplier, or if they're just a friend. And then, number 10, upgrade the world. There's a lot of ways to do it. Figure out how you're going to upgrade the world. Have a way. So that's my theoretical advice for someone entering their adulthood.